video.
This conference will now be recorded.
So that you can connect exactly what we did.
Actually, I was watching that only, but I'll perform the configuration after the class. I've
No
completed
problem.
that. Yeah, done.
Sure. Okay. So now we have our master data. So what all master data do we have? Material master. So we will be creating one finished good. Okay. Then one semi-finished. And then we can create one raw material. Okay. And this will be a discrete process. So the material master, okay, is more or less same. Okay, just the names are changing, but the creation part will remain the same for the process industry or the discrete industry. Okay, so discrete industry is like anything which is mobile, laptop, or any physical thing. Okay, but process industry is what? A food industry, a pharmaceutical industries. Those are process industries. In that we will have resource. Okay, bill of material will be common for discrete and process industries. Routing will be in our discrete and recipe will be our process industries. Okay, and production version is also same. So these two, bill of materials BOM and production version, will remain same for both the industries. Okay. So to start with, the T code is MM01. Okay, for creation of any material master. So here we have to give the names. Okay, so we will try to manufacture a car. Okay, so a car will be a finished product. It can be anything, a BMW or a newly model XUV 700. So the components required here will not be a semi-finished product. So everything will be outsourced. Okay, so company will procure the items from different vendors. So engine can be procured from one vendor, windshield can be procured by the other vendor, tires can come from C8, Apollo, or anything. Okay, so we will see how the data looks like. I do have XUV 700 already created with me. Okay, but we'll say Tata Punch now. Tata _ Punch. So this is a new material which I am going to create. So it's saying no results found. So that is fine. And industry I will say as mechanical engineering. And material type. So this is a finished product. So I will say finished product. Okay. And I'll copy it from my existing. So whenever you are doing, you can also copy from Tata Punch. What all data do I want? I want basic data 2. Okay, we are selling this, so we need sales data, and then we need from the production side MRP 1, 2, 3, and 4 view and work scheduling view. Okay, and coming down, we also want accounting data, which is for your costing purpose, accounting 1, 2, and costing 1, 2. Okay, if we take these many views, we are good to create a new material master. And we have to put organization levels. We say we are creating in 1710 and we are copying also from 1710. Okay, and then we say continue. We have to change our name here, Tata Punch. So in basic data view, from manufacturing side, from PP side, we don't have anything to provide, so we can just go ahead. Basic data, we don't have anything. So the sales view will be filled up by the sales guys. Okay, so when you are doing one implementation project, you will be taking data for the MRP 1, 2, 3, and 4 and work scheduling view. And the other data will be coming from different module guys like SD guy. Okay, SD guy will give you what sales organization they are doing. Okay, what distribution channel they have. So this information will be provided by the sales team. So we don't have to worry, they will be helping you. And this creation will be done by the MM team. For our practice session, we are doing, and you will be giving data to the MM team, and this is the task of MM guy, material management guy, to create the finished product, raw material, semi-finished, anything. MM guy will be doing all this. Let me see if I can get some data here. Sales organization 1710. Okay. So sales unit. So the creation unit, the manufacturing unit is pieces. Okay. And sales unit either can be a different unit. Okay. So for example, not in the car. Okay. In case of any food item, you are creating in pieces, but you are selling as boxes, right? You put 12 pieces and it becomes one box. Okay, it can be a scenario. In my current situation, in my current project, we have the same situation. So they produce in pieces, they pack 4 pieces, they pack 6 pieces, and different boxes are there. How system understands if you're producing in pieces and what number of pieces will become one box. Okay, that I'll tell you how we can maintain once I'm done with this. So here we are just saying pieces. And according to the settings which sales guy will make, like the country where they are selling, what tax they are following, these things will come from them. So we can remove this. So we'll say 0, no tax, no tax, no tax. So this availability check, okay, is used for our raw materials also, and it is used to commit the finished product to the customer also. So if you receive any customer order, say for 10 cars, you need to see your inventory, right? That I can promise 10 pieces to the customer, or I can promise only 5 pieces. So how system will check? It will check through the availability check. Okay, so if you have this, again, this is like a sales activity, but good to know information how you can commit. So our work starts from here. We need to understand the fields which are important here. Okay, so the main important, this MRP group is good to know information. So MRP group, I can show you the configuration. So you have configurations at a plant level. So our plant is 1710. Under that plant, if you want any specific requirements, okay, that 10 materials will be planned in a separate way from our plant. Okay, so you can create one group as MRP group. You can do some settings, the configurations in that. If you assign this group to 10 different materials, they will follow one set of instructions, and all the other materials will follow the plant-based configuration. If you have any specific requirement like that, you give this, but it is not a mandatory. Okay, this is your MRP group. So the MRP procedure. So this is one important interview questions. Like interviewer can ask you like MRP1, what all information do you have? What is important information under MRP1 view? So you have to say MRP procedure. Under MRP procedure, I have MRP type. Okay, I have reorder point and planning cycle. Okay, planning time fence. So you need to just before interview you have to read and keep this information in your head. Okay, and then you have a lot size data, MRP procedure and lot size data. Similarly, you have different options in MRP 2, 3 and 4. We will see. So what is MRP type? Okay, I explained you, I guess, during our configurations. So MRP type PD means this particular finished product and its dependent requirements, okay, will be considered for the material requirement planning. So this is a very new product in SAP, and the components either can be in stock because tires, windshield can be common to other cars also, right? So if you have a stock, then the MRP will not create a proposals for the vendors. Okay, we say at purchase requisitions. But if you don't have a stock and you run MRP on the finished product, it will see how much the components you need to manufacture a finished product. Okay, accordingly, if stock is not there, it will raise the proposals to the vendors for the stock. Okay, then that proposals can be converted into a purchase order, and purchase order is completed and you get a stock, and then you issue that stock in your finished product. Okay, I'll tell you, I'll write it here what happens. So you have a finished product, finished material, you have 4 components. Okay, and then MRP runs. MRP will check the stock, no stock, create purchase rec, okay, which is purchase requisitions. Stock, okay, no proposals. Okay, this is how system will work. We will see after we are done with the material master. Okay, so MRP PD is one important part. And if you don't want MRP to consider any requirements, then you say ND, which is no planning. So in the interview, it will people can ask you that have you worked on MRP types? What all MRP types you are aware of? You can say PD, which is very common, ND, again common, and then VB, this reorder point planning. Okay, so what is reorder point planning? We have to mention VB here, and we have to give a reorder point here. So if I give a point as 1000 pieces, okay, this is basically for a raw material. This will not be applicable for finished product. This VB is always for a raw material. So a raw material where I don't want to actually plan each and every component. It can be little screws, it can be your nut and bolts, okay, a very low cost item which I don't want to plan, but I want to keep it in a bulk because those are used every time, right? To tighten your doors, you need screws. To tighten your engine, you need screws, okay, nut and bolts. So I will say, if I have anything called nut and bolt, I'll say VB, and I'll give a 1000 pieces, okay, or 10,000 pieces as my reorder point. As soon as anything which goes as 999, okay, system will create a new proposal for me automatically. Are you able to follow VB?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is called reorder point. Because in interview they can ask you, can you walk me through your reorder point planning, how reorder point will work? Okay, so this is how it works. So with VB, yeah, sorry, PD is the normal planning. Okay, so I'm talking about VB here. VB is mainly for the raw materials. This is not for the finished product. Okay, and that too a low cost raw materials. You will not have a reorder point for the tires, okay, because tires is also a little expensive item. So whatever is the requirement, you will try to plan the tires accordingly, because even tires will have some shelf life. After 2 years or 3 years, your tire rubber gets tight. Okay. And if you use the little older tires, your car will make sound when running on the road. Okay. That's why we change, or it is suggestible to change the car tires after 3 years, even if you have not used, because even if you are not used, by keeping it, the tire becomes hard. Okay, so VB is the low cost material and it triggers using reorder point. Okay, with VB, I also use HB. Okay, we have called HB, replenishment to maximum stock level, or I can use this also. But mostly I have seen, if I am using VB, I will use replenishment to maximum stock level, because like I said, it's a bulk item. I will say that it fall as 999, and I want the proposal as you give the maximum lot size as again 1000 pieces or 2000 pieces. Okay, so VB and HB is the combination, and PD EX. Okay, now let me explain you the lot size. So MRP is, if you use MRP type, it will plan your materials and it will plan your raw materials. What is lot size? As it says, lot means lot for lot. If there is a planned order, okay, or let me start from the demand. So any manufacturing base is demand. I will have some demand, then only I will produce, right? If I don't have demand, why will I produce? Okay, or if it is not a regular item, I will not produce. So in the make to stock scenario, when I'm keeping the stock, I will see my forecast of my previous year or maybe quarter, how much I produced and how much I am able to sell. According to that forecast, I will make some plan that I will produce this month as 1000 pieces, or maybe in the next month I will prepare more. Okay, and I want system to decide according to my demand. Give me the proposals. So EX is lot for lot. If I have my demand as 1000 pieces, system will give me a proposal, the manufacturing order, the planned order. A planned order is converted to the production order as 1000 pieces. But I say fixed lot. Okay, the fixed quantity means I'm pushing the system. If my demand is 1000 pieces, but you create an order for 2000 pieces, fixed quantity, I can force the system. Okay, HB I have already explained. And then we have something monthly. So in a month, you can say that I am going to prepare this much, let my demand be anything. So you can use this MB. But the most common questions will be asked in the interview as, can you tell me the difference between EX and FX? Okay, and what other lot size do you know or are you aware of? Is there any doubt questions here? We will see all this, okay? We will see how it works in the system. So this was the theory part. We will see the practical. So here we are saying that, okay, finished product, let the MRP consider it and let demand drive it. So whatever demand is there, I will create that particular order. Okay. So here I'm not going to mention anything. I will go to the MRP2. Procurement type. In the MRP2, procurement type is your driving factor. If you're producing in-house, or are you asking the external vendor to send it? Okay, or you can produce in-house, but also at the same time you can procure from some other vendor. So you mention X. If there is any product which can be also bought, if there is a very less time available, but you need to give it to the customer. If there is a product, but Tata Punch cannot be procured from Ford or Hyundai, they have to manufacture themselves. So we will say in-house production. And then we have special procurement. So we have subcontracting. So basically what subcontracting is, either we are sending this material semi completed to any vendor, and then vendor will complete this product and give it back to us. That is called subcontracting. Like, I don't have enough resources to finish this product, but I will send it to some external vendor. They will do some work and then they can send it back to us. So this is called material subcontracting, and we have an operation subcontracting. Okay, we will see this part also. So we have material subcontracting and we have operation subcontracting. The difference between these two is, for example, I'm manufacturing Tata Punch now. I have different operations under routing. One of the operation is what? Paint. I don't have a paint booth, okay, in my factory. Paint booth is nearby, but different vendor is there. So what I'll do, I'll assemble the car, okay, partially. Then I will send it to the vendor for painting. So I will also send the paint along with, like the components, the paint colors. Okay, I will send those to the vendor. Vendor will use my paint and he will do the painting part and then again send me the assembly. Okay. In this case, I am sending one operation which is called paint to a third-party vendor who is completing this job for me. Okay, so this is very common activity in our production planning, the manufacturing. Not everything is in-house. We do send something outside, and how we will control this we will see in our next classes. Okay, so this backflush, I think talked about backflush. Backflush is not used for the finished products. This is issuing of components, the automation way of issuing the components, the raw materials. So if I want to issue tires, windshield, okay, and the engine, I can assign backflush to my component master data. Okay, I'll say 1 as always backflush. So what will happen when I'm doing confirmation? Those will be automatically sent to the production location. Okay, in the SAP you can't see that, but it 261 moment will be automatically done. So I have, I think, written somewhere the process. Yeah, here. So production order is released, first of all created, then released, then GI. So this GI part is automated using backflush. Else you need to do one more manual step to do this, and then you have to do the confirmation, and then again this step is manual. Okay, we will see the manual part and then we will see how the automation is done. Okay, and if we automate this, these two, GR and GI, is done with this operation, this confirmation itself. These two will work all together in one thing. We don't have to go in Migo transaction again and again. Okay, so batch entry. We will see in our process industries how this batch entry works. Okay, so okay, let me cover this topic else you will get confused. I will talk about this later. Batch entry. So the other main point is scheduling. So what is scheduling? To create a Tata Punch, how many days I'm taking? Okay, I am taking 5 days. Okay, and if I have any planned delivery time, so that will add to this 5 days. If I say 1 day, okay, and then GR processing time. What is GR processing time? Is if I give 1 day, that means after my production there will be a quality check, all right, for 1 day, and then it will be moving to the stock. If I want to consider that quality check or any check, okay, then this days will be counted here. GR processing time in simple words is the time required after you finish your production till you move the stock in your warehouse for selling purpose. Okay, if any time is required between these two activities from production to moving in the warehouse, we give the days here, GR processing time. Schedule margin key. There are two words for this, schedule margin key. In interview they can ask you, are you aware of schedule margin key? Have you configured it? or they can say, can you tell me about floats? So floats and schedule margin key is same. You should not get confused if he says floats instead of schedule margin key. So what is float? Float is a buffer time which is either required before your production, okay, or after your production. All right. So before production is you want, if you are waiting for some raw material, okay, you cannot start your production, then you can give like, okay, 2 days I will wait before starting my production. Then you can give a float of 2 days. And after production you have some waiting time again, okay, not this waiting time. You have painted the car, but you want to leave it for 1 day for drying purpose. I'm just giving example, it can be any other examples also. So here you can see this 000 means float before production, float after production, okay. You can give the days here. If I choose, so it says 10 as 10 days. Before production, it is waiting for 10 days. So I don't want to wait for 10 days, right? I will not choose this. I will say 000. I don't have any waiting period. Okay. So planning calendar, I'll explain you in one of the classes. This is one different topic. And this is again for the raw materials. This is not for applicable for the finished products. So net requirement calculation, I told you MRP will see how much stock do you have, okay, and then it will consider the proposals to be created or not to be created. Either you can maintain some safety stock. Again, like this is more used for the raw materials. So for any raw materials, I am keeping a safety stock that this stock will be always with me and it will not fall certain point. That is called a safety stock. Okay, then I can maintain if I want to if business has a requirement that, okay, we do keep 50 pieces of raw material always with us in case of emergency, we will not use that. So what will happen, system will say that if you go in the stock screen, okay, let me take you to the MMBE, and then I'll go to tires, BMW tires, plant 1710. Okay, so here you can see that there is an unrestricted use. Tire 1 is my batch, tire 2 is another batch. Okay, 4,000 or 4 pieces. Okay, so if I keep a safety stock, there will be one more line which will say 50 piece, but system will never count that 50 piece, that okay, you have 50 piece, I will not create a proposal for you. I have a requirement of 4 pieces, 4 tires. My safety stock is 50. System will not consider 50. It will create a proposal of 4 pieces again. Okay, because that's something which I always want to keep. All right. And
for only raw materials that we are using this one.
Yes, mostly for raw materials. We don't want to keep our finished product in our safety stock, right? We want to sell and get profit. So this is production storage location. This location is considered when you are creating a production order for this Tata Punch. So after you are done with the manufacturing activity in 17(1)A, it will go and store the stock of Tata Punch. One car will be created and it will be stored in 17A for selling purpose. So if you see here, so 17(1)C is one location under which raw materials are stored. So 17(1)A will be one location where Tata Punch stock will come. Okay. MRP 3 screen is again important. Like all the screens are important for us for understanding. If you understand these screens, you can run any scenario. So here I gave you strategy. Yes. So we have MTO, which is make to order 20 and 50, and we have MTS, which is make to stock. We are following this right now. We have 10, we have 11, and we have 40. So what is the difference between these three? When I'm creating with 10, that is purely make to stock. That means if I get any sales order, this will be only consider, the sales order will be only considered if I have a stock. It will be delivered from my stock. Okay, my demand will not get impacted. But if I'm using number 40, okay, if I have a demand of 100 pieces, and if I get a sales order in between of 50, then 50 demand will be reduced. It will say that, okay, incoming sales order has already consumed your 50 demand, and it will go to that customer. But in this case, if you get a 50 item, okay, like 50 requirement from any customer sales order, it will say you prepare 100, and then from our stock we will deliver to that 50 quantity. Okay, this is the difference. And with strategy 11, so with 10 I have a stock. Let's show you here. So strategy number 10, stock is 100 pieces. Okay, my demand is 100 pieces. What will happen? MRP will run and say no proposal, right? Because you have 100 stock, you have demand of 100, you can issue from your stock, right? Why do you want to create a new proposals or new manufacturing orders, right? You don't want to pile up the stock. Strategy 11, what it will say, you have stock of 100, you have demand 100 proposal. Okay, why there is like this? Because 100